Okay, so web server is important. What is the usage of the web server? Web server is used to store and deliver the contents of a website to the client. Means if you want to, your website will be accessed by the anyone else. For that, it is compulsory for us that we have to store our website on this any one of the web server. So whenever we are creating the website, there are two things that is the compulsory. First, we have to do the domain name registration. The first thing we are doing the domain name registration. This is the first thing that is the important. Okay, and second thing is the web hosting. Web hosting. Okay, so web hosting means you are acquiring, you are taking a space on the web server, taking a space on the web server. Okay, taking a space on the web server. So that is called web hosting. And domain name registration means you are getting a domain name. You are getting a domain name. You are registering your domain name like this: www.talentindia.com. Talentindia.com. Suppose I am writing this website, talentindia.com, www.anjeevsingh.com, www.mystudents.com, something like this. Okay, talentedstudent.com, something like this. Yeah, .in. So this is called, yes, Muskan. This is called the domain name registration. Okay, so whenever your browser is going to request the any website, your browser is actually going to communicate with the web server, and web server can be software or hardware. Web server can be software or hardware, means one computer that is work as a server, and some desktop computer is also become the server. Just only we have to install the software there. When talking about the web server as a computer hardware, it is stored web server software. Means if the hardware is there, computer is there, then it's required a software there. Okay, and a website contents, means HTML pages are there. Website contents means HTML pages, images, CSS styles, JavaScript, etc. Server needs to connect to the internet. Server is also required to be connect the internet, means that is also required to become the parts of the internet. Otherwise, if it is not become the part of the internet, no one is able to access the data, so that it contents can be accessible to others. Okay. The next is when we are talking about the web server as a software, means earlier we are talking the web server as a hardware. If we are talking about the web server as a computer, means you require a web server software and HTML content. But whenever you are talking about the web server as a software, it means that some specialized program that understand the URLs or web address coming as a request from the browsers. Means that the local server, generally we are doing the local server on your computer and respond to this request. This server is assigned to unique domain name so that it can be accessed from the anywhere using the domain name. Okay, to develop and test a website using a personal computer, we need to first install web server on that computer. Means if we want to test it, we require a software on your computer. Okay, and that software is known as the web server. Web browser is what? Web browser is just like a client computer which is responsible to send the request. What types of request? This is called HTTP request. And what types of content we are getting from the server? That is called HTTP response. Okay, so as a web browser or as a client, you have to make a request for a particular page, okay, from a desired server or somewhere. The web server is then accept it, interprets it and searches and then responds to the request made by the web browser. The requested web page is then displayed in the browser of the client. If the server is not able to locate the page, it sends an error message. It sends an error message. And what is the most common error? Remember this error message. This is the important error message. And what is the error message? Error 404. If you are getting any error like this, error 404, it means the message is that page is not found on the server computer. In that case, we are getting the error, this types of error message. Now I'm just talking about this. If we have to host a website, if we want to make a website, first we have to register our website and then we require to host it. There are so many web hosting companies out there, GoDaddy, and GameStar, something like this, Hotstar. There are so many. The GoDaddy is the most common. You are seeing the ad in also on the TV or somewhere else. Okay, so web hosting is a service. Web hosting is what? It is a service. Someone is providing you a service that allows to put a website or web page onto the internet and make it a part of the World Wide Web. Once a website is created using the hardware server, we need to connect to the internet so that user across the globe can access. On the other hand, means on the server are just providing us the resources on the rent. We are taking the server resources on a rent, means the some other computers is having the CPU, having the RAM, having the storage device, and we are just taking the space on that CPU. We are just taking the some space on their storage device, and because this is a computer which is connected with the internet. Okay, so through internet we are able to access this particular folder, because this is the web server software is also here. So through the web server software is responsible to provide give the access of this particular folder, and inside the folder all the content related to website is stored, so we are able to access the data from there. Okay, so and for this, we are not going to occupy the whole space of this CPU. We are going to take the some space of CPU. This is called rental or sharing hosting. This is called sharing hosting. So from cloud service provider and host our locally created website, this is done by uploading the file. Okay, means what happened if you are purchase some space on the internet, means you are going to purchase a plan of the hosting, then we have to upload our file on the server computer, and then only the server is able to send the give access that data. Usually we have to pay some amount. Okay, we have to pay some amount, and it will be increase or decrease as per the loads on the website. What is the meaning of the load? Load means how many space you are consuming and what types of the bandwidth you are required. Means what are the number of hits on your website. If number of hits is required, means you are using the maximum part of the CPU, maximum people are trying to access your website. In that case, the company is going to charge more. Okay, a web server, whether it is local server or cloud server. Now two types of the server, one is called local server, second is called cloud server. Connected to the internet is assigned a unique numeric address of internet, and this is known as the IP address. As I told you, IP address is a temporary address, but every website is having a IP address. Every computer is having the IP address. Without IP address, you are not able to communicate in a internet or on a network also. So IP address need to be mapped to the textual name. This is called domain name, and this whole process is called domain name resolution. What is this? This is called domain name resolution. What is the domain name resolution? Okay, means a process through which we are getting. Normally what happened, you people are writing the www.google.co.in. You are writing www.google.co.in, but in actually what happened, this Google is having their one IP address also. One IP address is also available. Suppose I'm just writing a one IP address like this, so Google is having the one IP address is also. So B people are giving this, so this textual address is going to convert into the IP address, and this is called domain name resolution. So on the server end, what happened? The IP address is mapped with this textual name. So whenever when you try to access this particular website, server is automatically understand, oh, this website, it means I have to access this IP address. So look at this. So this IP address needs to be mapped to the textual name. This is called domain name of the website, and this is because it is not convenient for users to remember numeric IP address. Why this is required? Why not every website is get remembered by this name? Because it is not easy to remember the numbers for the every website. So it is easy to remember the name of the website. So accessing a website, the user enters the domain through the browser, and then domain name is get converted into the proper IP address, and then server is providing you the response. Achha. For this, if you want to create your own website, I already told you, you have to purchase your domain name also. You have to purchase your domain name also. Okay, how to host a website? If you want to host a website, suppose you want to provide this service, so how you will do this hosting service? Okay, to host a website, follow the steps given below. Select the web hosting service provider. Means if you want to host your own website, sorry. Okay, in that case, what happened? First of all, we have to search the hosting websites. There are so many hosting websites are there that will provide the web server, that will provide the web server space as well as related technology and services. Means it's provide the several things. It's provide the technology also, it's provide the space also. Means all other things is also provided by this company only. Bandwidth, data backup, firewall support, email services, etc. This has to be done in keeping mind features and services that we want to offer through our website. Means whenever you are going to purchase a host, you are going to purchase a plan for your hosting, you always think about this, what services you want and what services you don't want. Then identify a domain name. After this, then you have to find out by which name you are going to register your website. First, search the domain name. If it is available, then go and register your domain through the domain name register. There is a domain name register. Through that, you have to register your domain. Once you get the web space, you have a domain name also. You require to create the logins with appropriate rights and note down the IP address to manage the web space. Then what happened? This web service provider, web hosting company is generally giving the everything you, every detail you. Don't bother about this. They are just giving you every information. You have to just follow those steps. Okay. They provide you the user ID also. They provide you the IP address also. So through that you can access and you can manage your websites and you can upload the content on your website also. Okay, they are generally providing the control panel. This is known as the C panel. Actually it is called C panel. The control panel they are giving, that is known as the C panel. Okay, they are giving the C panel, or they are giving the dashboard also. This is called admin dashboard. And it's having the GUI interface. So through this GUI interface, you can easily interact with your website. You can easily upload your file. You can easily manage your web pages. Okay, you can easily create the links. Everything you can do easily. Okay, no need to be worried about this, because every web hosting company is providing the good facilities to their customer. So don't bother about this. So now you have to upload the files in a properly organized folders, allocated space, so that your website will be accessible. Okay, get domain name mapped to the IP address. No need to do this. This will be done by your web hosting company. The domain name system is a service that does mapping between the domain name and the IP address. Remember this, the one question is there, that is the very important question. What is the domain name system? What is DNS? DNS, domain name system, is a service that does the mapping between domain name and IP address. So when the address of the website is entered in a browser, the DNS find out the IP address of the server corresponding to the requested domain name and send the request to that server. Means what happened? Server is always getting the request in the form of the IP address. B people are writing the domain name. But this domain name is get converted into the IP address, and this is normally done by your internet service provider, or you done by the maximum time it is done by your browser also, because your browser is also keeping the records. Initially browser is not having any information regarding the IP address of particular domain. So what happened, they are asking from the internet service provider. After getting the information, your browser is just manage the everything and every history there. Okay, and whenever next time you are trying to access your website, first your browser is going to find out the So your browser is trying to find out the information inside the table. If it is there, then it's okay. If it is not there, then it's asked from the internet service provider. So everyone is managing this address table, okay, domain name address table. So this whole process is called D as domain name resolution also. So now there is two questions. What is the domain name resolution? And there is a one question, what is the domain name system? This is the very important question for you all. So don't forget about this answer of this question, okay? The next topic is this is the browser, and we all are familiar with this. If we people want to access any content from the internet, we required a software. We required a software application that help us to view the web pages, and that software is called browser. So browser is the application program which help us to view the data or information that is retrieved from the various web server on the internet. If we want to access anything that is available on the internet, we require a software like this: Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, Google Chrome. Okay, so there are so many softwares are there, Opera and Apple Safari. Different types of the softwares are available, so we require to access this. Some of the commonly used web services, some of the commonly used web browsers like Google Chrome, most commonly used Internet Explorer. Nowadays we are using the Edge, Mozilla Firefox, Opera. So this web browser is essential component of your computer. Without this, you are not able to access the data. And normally what the browser is doing, they are just accessing the HTML documents, converting, parsing it, and showing the information in a proper way. And they provide the facility through the hyperlink. You can access the another page, or you can access the another websites. Every browser is having the web address bar. In address bar we have to write down the address of address or domain name. Okay, now there is one. Mosaic was the first web browser. This is the important question, developed by the National Center of Supercomputing Application, NCSA. Mosaic Firefox is the first web browser. Netscape Navigator is also there on that time. The initial web browser like Mosaic used to support HTML documents containing plain text. Means normally it is used to support the static websites. But nowadays, with the advantage of technology, okay, browsers allows to view the interactive and dynamic website. So in addition to this, most modern web browsers allow the wide range of visual effects. They allow the several things. They can play the video, they can play the songs, and they are providing the security systems also, encryption system also. They are providing the concept of the cookies also. And we all know what is the cookies. Cookies is the information which is stored by the web server on which is stored by the website on your local computer. To just check out your activity, you just check out and keep your some information. Okay, not your personal information and private information. They are just keeping about that what you are doing on their website, so that whenever you next time try to access the website, they just get the information through cookies, and they just provide they just make it easy to access the particular website. So cookies is just like a information stored by the website on your local computer through browser. Okay, now there is a one important thing that is called browser settings. While you are using the browser, you can do the some settings of the browser also. Sometimes it is required. Normally we are not doing. Normally we are using the default service of this, but you can do it if you want to use it something special. Mozilla Firefox, this is an open browser. This is another information which is available free of cost and can be easily downloaded from the internet. Nowadays every browser is a open browser. Okay, freely we can download, but it is not open source. Internet Explorer is not open source. Google Chrome is also not open source, but your Mozilla Firefox is an open source web browser, means their source code is also available. So we can access the source code also. Now there is browser setting. As I told you, every browser has got certain settings that defines the manner in which the browser will behave. So these settings may be with respect to the privacy, search engine, preference, download options, auto signature, autofill, autocomplete features, theme, and much more. So these are the some important things that you have to remember always. Means what settings we are doing. We are doing the privacy settings, we are doing the search engine preferences, means through which search engine you are going to search the any pages, download options where you will save your file and everything, auto signatures means whenever we are sending any message, then what information will be goes there. Okay, autofill means whenever you are filling the form, how can the information will be filled, autocomplete features, theme, and so on. So each browser